Ladies, I am here tonight on the show. And tonight we're gonna do freaking I gotta delete this shit. Um we are going to do freaking WWE news, man. Vince McMahon supposedly had surgery a few days ago on his back. He was in surgery for about 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours. He was dealing with a back injury, and he had to have surgery. This comes around the time too that last year he was gone. So it's interesting. You would assume, because he hasn't been in the ring since last year before he had to step down, you would assume this is something he would have gotten fixed last year when he stepped away for those months. Interesting how he waited until this year to get it done when he's back to working. But assuming this was a back problem from the past, maybe when he was wrestling, the few matches he wrestled in his career. But anyways, wishing a speedy recovery to Vince McMahon after having back surgery, man. Some injuries. They're saying Kevin Owens is like a broken ribs. There's only a few weeks. There is no plans as of right now to strip Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn out of the tag team champions. Since it's only going to be a few weeks, the plan is Kevin Owens should be back sometime after SummerSlam. But as far as Liv Morgan goes, they're not sure. She might need surgery, and if that's the case, she could be out for a long time. And that's why they decided to have them lose the tag team titles to Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville, because they're not exactly sure what the time frame is for her injury to be back. They're not as positive on her as they are on Kevin Owens. So hopefully she comes back soon. On AEW side, we also have some injuries. Thunder Rosa, who's been hurt for a long time, is starting to train again. She's back in the ring training. There's still no date for her return, but she's back training. But on the other way, Jamie Hayter, who's been recovering, she also doesn't have really a time frame. They believe they were trying to get her back for All In August. That has no longer appeared to be the case. There's still a possibility, but not as much as they thought at first. So Jamie Hayter might miss All In. They're still trying to get see if Mercedes Moné could be back for All In, but she's also still hurt. So some injuries, especially on the women's side with Thunder Rosa, Jamie Hayter, and Liv Morgan. Hopefully, we wish speed recovery, man. And also, it looks like the first match for All In has been possibly at least starting to be planned, as they are trying to get Chris Jericho versus Will Ospreay. They're still trying to figure out what. I don't know this. I still don't know if this show's like a pay-per-view or it's just gonna be like a live event, and it's just gonna be for the people there. I think I did announce Bleacher Report's gonna be showing it, but there's as of right now I don't see any televised, right? Not like DirecTV or nobody like that seems to be offering the pay-per-view. We'll see in the future, but we are starting to get close to it. And you don't see AEW really talking about this on either Collision or Dynamite. Pretty interesting, man. But apparently they're trying to go with Chris Jericho versus Will Ospreay. A lot of complaints about the women's division in AEW. Of course, we saw after the Britt Baker match of Bakula this past Wednesday, the fan putting up booked the women's division better. That thing was there for about 5 seconds. A lot of criticism that how come that whole thing with the Outcast, they should have maybe done a blood and guts match just like they did for the Black Ring Comeback Club and the Elites. They should have maybe had like the Outcast versus like Britt Baker and maybe some other people, like maybe Will Gonalga. But the problem is too, Jamie Hayter is hurt, so that could have messed up that whole situation up. Who knows? I don't know. Was there even enough women on the other side? Like you have Sky Blue, Will Gonalga, Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter. But then Jamie Hayter got hurt. I think it got complicated. But some people were saying they should have given him a blood and guts match, just like they did with the Elites and the Black Ring Comeback Club. But I think part of it was the injuries, man. The The belief is that WWE felt a few months ago they had a better chance to bring in some members of the elites. As it's all said that they're are going to be up in a few months. Everybody's Kenny Omega's, Adam Page, and the Young Bucks. But now the belief is they're going to stay with AEW, and WWE might not even waste their time trying to offer them money. As it is said to be that they overpaid for Rush. That apparently WWE was surprised with how much money Tony Khan paid Rush to stay with AEW. So the belief is they might not even try to go after any member of the elites because they think if they were willing to pay that for Rush, they might even be paying more to keep all the members of the elites. So WWE might not even waste their time trying to go after those guys. Apparently, a lot of people were wondering that with now all of them in the main roster, Tommaso Ciampa, Dexter Lumis, Wendy Harwell, Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, they were going to do the Way, which that was their faction, and NXT. But that has not been the case. A lot of people were wondering maybe they were waiting for maybe Tommaso Ciampa to get back, but now obviously Tommaso Ciampa has been back for a few weeks. He's been feuding with Bronson Reed. So a lot of people are wondering. The report is Dexter Lumis is not even on backstage for the shows. He's been sent home as there's no creative plans for Dexter Lumis going forward. So a lot of frustration by all members of the Way. Johnny Gargano also has not really been used a lot lately. So yeah, a lot of frustrations outside of Candice LeRae, Indy Warhart. Nobody's really outside of Tommaso Ciampa. None of them are being used, so they're very frustrated. Another pair that's very frustrated is the Street Profits. Ever since they got switched over to SmackDown, they've barely been on TV. The belief is they might be getting ready to turn them heel if they were spotted with Bobby Lashley a few weeks ago out in the parking lot on SmackDown. But this week, I think Bobby Lashley was spotted with Carmelo Hayes and Trick. So we don't know what's going on there. Maybe they're going to bring back maybe like a new modified version of the, what the hell were they called? The freaking, what was that faction called? Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin. I don't even remember what the fuck that show was called, but maybe like adding new members. That's what a lot of people are saying. The heart business or some shit like that, right? The hurt business. So a lot of people are thinking they're gonna maybe bring it back, but maybe more like stars that are more over, like the Street Profits and maybe Carmelo Hayes and Trick, the hurt business. So we'll see what happens. And last one is the belief is they want to do this match between Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. They want to do like a UFC style match. This could be maybe the first potential crossover between UFC and WWE, since now they are both owned by Endeavor, the same company. But apparently, I don't know how far. Remember last year they did something similar with Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins. They call like Fight Pit. But that was mostly still a wrestling match. But they won this, so maybe they'll have them wear gloves and thing. It's going to be interesting to see if WWE might be willing to at times have UFC matches now that they're owned by the same company. I would not be surprised if they do that as a gimmick match going forward. I can see them doing that. So I don't know. They won like a UFC style match. I don't know how far they're going to go with it. But the belief is that's the plan they're going with Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler at SummerSlam. And so we'll see how close they make it to a real UFC fight. Or if they're because they did that last year too with Matt Riddle and freaking Seth Rollins. They were in a cage and stuff, but it was still like a wrestling WWE match. But that's pretty it with the news, ladies and gentlemen. Let me make sure I went over everything. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm finished. Have a good Friday.